Hey there, Tony Polecastro here from Tony's Acoustic Challenge. Plain and simple, learning the blues is where many guitar geeks start because it's fun, recognizable, and that makes it super rewarding. Which is why in this lesson, I'm going to show you one blues lick that is incredibly useful because you're going to be able to move it all over the fingerboard, and once you learn it, you'll be able to play the blues, the 12-bar blues, in any key, anywhere on the fretboard. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we do, I just want to make sure you know that whether you just started guitar or you've been playing for a while, this lesson is going to cause some serious light bulb moments. So get your guitar and get ready to have some fun. First things first, we have to learn this lick. This is a super simple lick and it only involves 4 notes. Okay, that's how simple and easy it is, but I can assure you it's super fun. So let's start by learning this lick. First, we're going to take our index finger and place it on the 3rd fret of the low E string. And just do a simple downstroke there. Easy enough. Then you're going to take your ring finger and move it to the 5th fret of the D string. Another simple downstroke there. From there, you're going to drop your index finger to the 3rd fret of the D string. Just a downstroke there. And then you're going to raise your ring finger to the 5th fret of the A string. And another simple downstroke there. So there's only 4 notes in this lick. It's all quarter notes. So if you were to count along with it, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here's the lick in context. I'll go ahead again and count along with it just so you can kind of get the rhythmic feel of it. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All downstrokes and pretty simple fretting pattern, okay? Now, I know you're thinking, okay, this is really easy. How useful is this lick? Well, it's incredibly useful, and let me explain why. This lick is a closed position lick. Well, what does that even mean? Because it's closed position, that means there's 0 open strings. And because it doesn't have any open strings, we can move it all over the fretboard and get the same result. Why is this useful to us? Well, because we can take that same lick, the physical execution of that lick, and move it around to create a 12-bar blues. Check this out. So your starting point, we'll just call it on the 3rd fret because that's where we learned it, okay? So your starting point is there. We'll call that the first chunk. For the second chunk, all we're going to do is move everything down towards the floor 1 string. So instead of starting on the low E string, you're going to start on the A string, go to that 5th fret of the G, 3rd fret of the G, and then the 5th fret of the D. Okay, we'll call that the second chunk. So that's going to sound like this. And then the 3rd chunk, we're going to take that same pattern originating on the A string and bump it towards the guitar body 2 frets. So now you're on the 5th fret of the A string, going to the 7th fret of the G, to the 5th fret of the G, and then ending up on the 7th fret of the D. Okay, so you've got 3 chunks, and just to do a quick summary, we've got the first chunk, the second chunk, and then the 3rd chunk. Okay, pretty cool. Now, what I love about this is it's the same exact thing. Your fretting fingers are doing the same motion. Your picking hand is doing the same motion. We're just moving it around to play over different chords. So what are these different chords? Well, remember I said the first chunk, the second chunk, and the 3rd chunk? Well, let's just clarify what those are and give them just subtly different names. The first chunk will go over the 1 chord. The second chunk will go over the 4 chord, the 4 chord, and the 3rd chunk will go over the 5 chord. For those of you who aren't sure what this means, don't worry. It's totally okay. It's just a little bit of music dialogue to help people know what chord is going on in a certain key. So to wrap this all together and make it a 12-bar blues, we're going to take that first chunk over the 1 chord, play it 4 times in a row, then take that second chunk over the 4 chord, play it 2 times in a row, go back to the first chunk for 2 times, hit the 3rd chunk over the 5 chord once, the second chunk over the 4-chord ones, and then 2 more first chunks. Okay, I know that's a lot to take in, but I'm going to go ahead and play through it right now so you can play along with me and actually play a 12-bar blues. And for the sake of clarity, this is in the key of G. So here we go. We're starting on the first chunk, and I'll go ahead and call out the chunks as we go. So here we go. Starting on the first chunk 4 times, 4 rounds of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the second chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the third chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. First chunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you have it. That is a 12-bar blues using this lick. You just played it in the key of G. Now, let me just hopefully turn on some light bulbs and make some minds blow right now. This pattern, because it's completely closed, is totally movable. So let's say I want to play it in the key of A. Well, it's pretty simple to do. I'll do the exact same thing. I just start on an A note, follow the same pattern. First chunk, second chunk, and then the third chunk. In that same recipe I gave you before. So it's completely movable. This pattern literally allows you to play in any key. All you have to do is know that starting note, the note that you're starting on with your index finger on the low E string. It's that simple. I hope this lesson gave you a ton of clarity. I hope this lesson allowed you to break through and play the 12-bar blues and know that, hey man, this simple little riff is actually quite useful. So in the comments below, please let me know how it went. Maybe this was your first time playing a 12-bar blues. Maybe you've played a while, but you made some connections on the fretboard. Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how it went. And if you're ready to have more fun with the guitar and experience progress day in and day out, you absolutely have to check out Tony's Acoustic Challenge. It's an acoustic guitar program like you've never seen before. Go ahead and click here in the video or in the description below to learn more about it and see how it can take your playing to the next level. And while you're there, don't hesitate to request your invite today. Thanks so much.